What's up everyone, it's your girl Bernie Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you my November mid-month wrap-up. So if you want to know all the books that I've read so far in November, please stay tuned. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. So like I said before, I'm gonna be sharing with you all the books I have read so far in November. This month is going by so fast. Next week is Thanksgiving in the US, and I'm excited to hang out with friends and family, especially on Thanksgiving. I'm always with my family, always, especially with my cousins, and we always play like games, charades. We do a whole bunch of things with each other, and I'm just really excited to connect with my family again, especially my cousins, because literally even the past couple of months we've all been very busy, and it's hard to like try to get together and stuff, especially with my friends. So I am excited, but before Thanksgiving comes, I do have some books that I have read prior to that. So the first thing that I've read is a manga, which was recommended by Ashley from the Bookish Realm. And of course, she has her Realm of Comics, which is her new channel for her, with all her comics and her mangas. So I'm just happy for her for that second channel that she has created. But she had recommended A Galaxy Next Door, which I had said in my previous videos, and so I'm continuing along with the manga, and this is the second volume. And so this is, like I said, A Girl Next Door, and this is volume 2. This is continuing on the relationship between the two main characters, which I really enjoy, about the Princess Shayuri and Ichiro. And they're just now trying to establish their relationship, and he also takes care of his little brother and little sister, and he's also just trying to have a balance between the two. And she likes being with his family. She loves being with his little brother and little sister, and they're like a little family. And right now they're just trying to find ways to like go on dates and stuff, try to get to know each other a little bit better. And I just fell in love with this. I think this is really cute, and I'm excited for volume 3, which I think I already ordered. So this will probably be, if not this month, I'll read the third volume next month in December. But I love this so much. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars because it is so cute, and thank you so much, Ashley. I just love it. I'm really liking and loving cute mangas and stuff like that, which I don't know what it is. I think it's just with the romance part, I think, is what I love. I have been reading some horror mangas and stuff like that, like Monster, which I'll get into after this one. But overall, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, so I definitely will be continuing on with this and reading volume 3, like I said, either later on this month or next month in December. And the next manga that I just brought up is Monster. I believe I read, I think it was either, I don't remember. It was either volume 6 or volume 7. The picture is right here, but I read that. I really did enjoy it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. A lot of stuff is happening. There's a lot of connections, and I'm trying to figure out with his sister. Like, I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody, but it's like a mystery and horror in itself. Tenma, I don't remember. I think it's Tenma is the main character, the doctor, the surgeon, or used to be. And then he gets arrested at the end, and I'm like, what is going on? So literally at the end of the manga of this volume, that's when people come together, of all the people that he's helped throughout his journey without all these years. And to think about, I didn't even think about, like, as I was reading these mangas and all the volumes I've read so far, it's collected all in years. So literally in this manga, it's like 10 years has gone by, and I really didn't think that at all. Like, that's how many years that has gone past since the first volume. So I'm thinking it's within months, it's within years. So I'm enjoying it. It's really good. I cannot wait to read the next volume to see what happens next. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Gave it a 5 out of 5 stars for Monster. So if you haven't read this, I suggest you do so. Bree from Lock Petition had mentioned this, and we're doing a whole little read along with this. So yeah, I'm a little bit ahead of the game, but my reasonings is that my work schedule is just unstable. I really don't know when I'll be able to get a chance to, so I try to read just ahead, just a tad. That way I won't be, I stay ahead of the game and I don't have to play catch up. So yeah, love this. If you haven't read Monster, definitely check it out when you can. Next book that I have read, which was recommended by Bree from Bree Shree Reads, and this is also a book that I have read for Skoden Readathon, and that is King of Battle and Blood. This is by Scarlett St. Clair. This is the first book in the series. The second book comes out next month in December, which I'm really looking forward to, and I love this. Now, like I hybrid read this. I listened to it on audio and I read the physical book at the same time, and I just love the smut, steamy scenes in this book. Like that's all what I wanted from this book. I just wanted some steamy, hot romance going on. There's some sex scenes in this book as well. It's really good. I loved it. Like I loved it so much. It definitely provided everything that I needed when it came to this book. And of course I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And of course the main characters is Isolde and Adrian. And the thing that I love most about it is like he fell in love with her because she looked familiar to him, and the whole connection between the two of Isolde and Adrian, and how she has been reincarnated. So she's Isolde now, but she was known something else years prior to her being born, and that's how the whole connection with Adrian came about. And she didn't know anything about it until she was able to learn about the past and about the truth and everything. So I love this. I'm looking forward to the second book, not only for the steaminess, sex scenes, and romance or whatever, but also with what happens between the relationships, and now that she knows who she is, and how Adrian just was like love at first sight to him, even though he's loved her many, many years. And he's trying to conquer the world, like the land and stuff like that, his main mission and his goal. But yeah, really enjoyed this. Definitely cannot wait for the second book in December, which I've already pre-ordered. So yep, I love this. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So thank you, Bree, for this recommendation. So good. Next book that I had recently read, which I really did enjoy, I've been like the first book like that I've read that's mostly fiction was the deity, Yoruba deity, Yemoja, which I had read from Soul of the Deep by Natasha Bowen. And now I read another book, which this is a lot, like this is deeper, and I really appreciate the story. Like this book came out I think last year, and I'm just now reading this, which I'm so glad that I did, and I really appreciate this book. Even Charlemagne the God loved this book so much. So I read Shallow Waters, a love letter to Yemaya, and this is by Anita Kopax. I'm sorry if I pronounced the author's name wrong. I'm so sorry. But this was so good. And this is following her like when she was born, and how she lost her parents, and her journey to the new world and discovering herself. Like people knew of her prior to her knowing the importance of herself, but the whole point of it was just her falling in love with a fisherman, Abu Tala, I forget his name, how to pronounce his name. And so that's the reason why she ended up into the new world, and she was able to walk on land. She was able to see the South, slavery, how people were treated. She was able to meet Harriet Tubman, which in this book she's just known as Moses. Like Yemaya has traveled through a lot, especially, and then traveling to New York and then to Canada, and then at the closer to the end, like Moses tells her about she has reached, she's now a woman, because she started her cycle. She did not know what that was about, not one bit. They told her that happens every month. She's like, what? This is it? Moses tells her, and her friend tells her that it gets easier, as the years go by. And of course she ends up seeing the love that she's been seeking ever since from the very beginning, and knowing him and seeing him as a fisherman for the very first time. And of course she ends up being a mother closer to the end. So I really love this book. If you haven't read it, I suggest you do so. I believe in the hardcover it is red, but since this is paperback, it is blue. So yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. So if you haven't read this book, I suggest and I recommend that you check this book out, especially since it's about Yemaya, Black mermaids. Hello. So really love this, and I will read more books by this author as well. So good, and I really appreciate the story behind this. Just beautiful, beautifully done and beautifully written. So of course, 5 out of 5 stars for Shallow Waters right here. Next one is Mangwa. This is a book that is not out yet until the 22nd, but my bookstore was able to get it sooner, and that is The Remarried Empress. And this is volume 1. I was just looking up on like on the website, like the Barnes & Noble website, and I came across this. I'm like, okay, what's some mangas? Because I'm really feeling like I'm getting addicted to mangas now, especially like romantic type of mangas for sure, about marriage, relationships, even like historical romances, etc. And I fell in love with this so much. Like, oh, so good. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So we have the Empress and we have the Emperor. The Emperor, like out of nowhere, brings this girl into the palace and starts showing her off and stuff. Next thing you know, he wants her to become his mistress, and his mistress obviously don't know her place. She talking to Empress like, hey, can I call you this or can I call you that? I'm like, girl, slow your roll. And Empress was just caught off guard, and so she's ended up having a relationship of her own, which she doesn't know yet, because she's relaying notes from like a bird who she calls Queen and stuff like that, which I thought was really cute. And she doesn't know precisely who the notes are coming from, but she then starts to figure out who it is. So she starts to end up having her own type of side relationship, while her Emperor is messing with his mistress. And that's when the whole the Remarried Empress is, because the Emperor wants to marry his mistress. So she's like, okay, I will divorce him, but I want to marry this dude. And so then that's how it starts, and then it goes back into the story of how it all occurred, about him wanting to divorce her and marrying his mistress. So really good. So good. I recommend this one. And yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I'm really looking forward to the second volume, because I want to know what happens. I want to know if the Emperor gets slightly jealous based on the person that she wants to remarry, who she wants to marry after she gets the divorce from the Emperor. So yeah, I'm really excited about the second volume, but this is really good. So don't sleep on this. This is really good. It's a new release, so definitely check this one out. Next one, this was a recommendation by, of course, Ashley from Bookish Realm. I'm really looking forward to reading the second volume, which I think comes out next year. So yeah, I have to wait a little bit because this is new. But that is Dinosaur Sanctuary Volume 1. This definitely reminds me of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World in that nature, except this is in Japan. So I believe this is Japan or China, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I do apologize. I am a newbie to when it comes to mangwas, and manhwas, so please forgive me. But love this. I love things when it comes to dinosaurs. Ashley says if you like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, that type of thing, then you will fall in love with this, and she was absolutely right. And of course I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. And I want to know more. I want to know why this guy here is so like cruel with this girl, and why he's so overprotective, making sure she does everything right. And we get a hint closer to the end of this one, where we find out why he is the way he is, why he acts the way he does to the new girl that helps him take care of the dinosaurs at their zoo. So I'm really looking forward to reading the second volume. I just gotta wait until next year, but this was so cute and so good, so I highly recommend this one as well if you haven't read it. Next one, like I said, I've been getting to a lot of romance, historical romance, cutesy type of mangas, and so I read this one in one sitting, of course, and this is volume 1. I think volume 2 comes out, I think, next month or next year. I'm really not sure, but that is My Happy Marriage. So good. This is like a Cinderella type of retelling, and it's like, it's so good. So it literally says in the back, a Cinderella inspired slow burn historical romance with a paranormal twist set in Taisho era Japan. So this is located in Japan, and there is like magic involved too. I'm not going to get into this because I do not want to spoil it, but I will let you know, like, her parents pretty much disowned her. She pretty much showed, like, she was pretty much Cinderella in this story, and they treated her that way because she didn't have any powers. She didn't have anything to bring to the table when it came to her family and her father, etc. And her mother passes away, and her father just pretty much doesn't give a shit about her. So they pretty much told her, okay, go marry this dude, even though I doubt you're gonna marry him, because every person that every woman that's tried to, you know, marry him, they just don't want to marry him. He's like scary, he's intimidating, blah blah blah. In a sense, it's like Beauty and the Beast type of sense too, in a sense, because he's like, girls don't like him and don't want to be around him, whatever. But he finds her fascinating, and she just tries to please him, and he's trying to figure out why she's acting this way, why she constantly apologizes to everything that she does, you know, that's not right or not correct. And he's starting to put two and two together, and he's also starting to fall for her in a sense. It's just like it says, it's a slow burn type of romance. So I really enjoyed it. 5 out of 5 stars, because it's cute. I think he really is starting to care. He's never known someone like her. She's very simple. She doesn't like to spend money. He's like, you are the daughter of like one of the wealthiest one of the daughters of one of the wealthiest families in Japan, and he's trying to figure out why is she like this and what life does she live, because usually the girls he's known that had a family like that and grew up in a household like that were just rich and wanted to buy everything. She's completely different, and it just took him off guard, like completely caught off guard when it came to her. So I'm definitely looking forward to the second volume. This was really, really good. I highly recommend this. Like I said, I just looked up on the website, just like mangas and like with romance and stuff like this, and this popped up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read it, and I loved it. So highly recommend this if you haven't picked this one up either. Next book that I have read is also for Skoden Readathon. I actually want to read the second book because this was really, really good. And that is The Barren Grounds by David A. Robertson. This is book 1 of the Masuwa saga. And this is about 2 kids who are foster kids. And they're in Winnipeg, if I'm not mistaken. And they're with, you know, their foster parents. And, you know, the main character, Morgan, this is Morgan, this is Eli. Morgan is pretty much used to always going from home to home, different foster family, whatever. And she's also frustrated because she doesn't know her mother, why she gave her up. She doesn't know her culture as much as Eli does, because Eli knows his mother, his background and stuff like that. And in a sense, she is jealous. So they do have that type of rough relationship, a rough patch at the beginning of the book, but then it ends up being more. And I think they end up, you know, having that bond for each other as brother and sister, and starts to, you know, look more into their background. And so that's when it's like, this book also is like a Narnia type of vibe, but I actually like this better in a sense. And it talks about the bear and the significance of the bear, which is one of the main characters in the book. And then you have the squirrel as well. It just brings about also the beauty of the earth and how to protect the earth and stuff, and not take it for granted, which actually is on page 190. And I made sure I knew the page because I found it very fascinating and very interesting, which it says, the land provides everything that anybody would need. If you take only what you need, the land renews itself so that it can provide more. Medicines, water, plants, meat. In exchange, because we don't really have anything the land wants, we honor it for what it gives. It says, Ochek turns toward Eric and the children. When you take more than the land can provide, it stops giving. It can't give. That's what's happened here. That's what happens with humans. And which is correct. Like, if you think about, and I just love this, how it talks about the land, how we should be protecting the land, loving the land, don't take it for granted. You know, don't try to strain the land so much and the earth to the point that it just stops giving, which is happening right now, which I really, it's really interesting about it. And which this is like a caveat into the picture book that I read to my kids. I don't have a physical copy, but it's right here. We are protectors, water protectors. I really appreciated that book as well. That is by, I don't remember the author. I think it's Linda. Sorry, y'all. It's actually excuse me, it's actually Carol Lindstrom. I don't know where I got Linda from, but it's Carol Lindstrom. And also, like, if I not only read this to my kids, but we also listened to the audiobook as well, and with the picture book, you know, just to help them out and stuff, and really appreciate it, which it's the author's voice. So she also narrated this book as well, which, like I said, it's a good way for me to connect this book with the picture book, because it talks about the earth, the water, you know, it talks about the oil pipelines and how it affects the earth, it poisons the earth, it doesn't make the earth is just falling apart. And it talks about the oil in the ocean and how it destroys things, how it kills things and stuff like that, and how we as people, you know, not only need to, it's not always, it's just not, it's about us, the humanitarian issue that we're having as far as the oil and the pipelines and what it's doing to people's lives. It's killing people, it's poisoning the earth and stuff like that, which that's why I appreciate both of these books. I appreciate this one. This is a middle grade, and of course this is a picture book, and I wanted to read this with my kids because I want them to be, you know, be aware of that. And they're like, why are people doing this to the earth if this is what provides us food? And I'm like, you know what, because people are, I will say, they are money hungry. They constantly want to be rich. That's all they care about, especially in the US. It's all about capitalism. They want to become rich. They're just money hungry. And they don't really care about what they do to the earth. They don't care about what they do to the planet. And they still didn't understand why. And so I was like, you know what, like, we need to have we got further into the conversation about that, and how people are the way they are, how they don't appreciate the earth and what the earth gives us, and how some people take it for granted. They don't look at it as if we need to treat the earth right, because it is giving us what we need, and we need to appreciate it and thank it for providing us the food that helps us carry on, that helps us put clothes on our backs, that helps us provide all of the stuff for us. Paper, everything like that is from the earth itself, and we need to, you know, acknowledge that, you know. And I feel like also they do this to the earth because of greed. And they don't even care what they're doing. They don't care about the end result. They just want something that gets them rich quick. They don't care about the down the road on what the consequences are from their actions that they have done. But yes, this is really good. And of course, and you know, the picture book, We Are the Protectors. We Are Water Protectors, which I really loved. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, and I also gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. So if you haven't read either book, I suggest you do so. It's really, really good. Really, really good. The next book that I read, which is also from Skoda Readathon, this is a horror book, which I was not, like, this blew me away, and it also, like, had me in tears, but it was so good, so beautifully written. And this is also by an Indigenous author, by the way, and that is White Horse by Erica T. Worth. This was so good, and of course I could see it's book of the month. And guess what? This is on Goodreads Choice Awards for 2022 for horror, and so of course I voted for this one because I really did enjoy this. I feel like the author should definitely get all her flowers, like, for sure, like, because she did her thing, like, with this book, and I really love this. It's very powerful. I don't want to give the book away because I want you to read it for yourself. I'm not going to give you all the answers. I really want you to read this. I really want you to take everything all in about what this book is about. And I will say the main character in this book is in the search about finding more information about her mother, the disappearance of her, what happened to her, you know, because they had the missing person, and the next thing you know, they pronounced her dead. So it's just it's a huge mystery with this, and I find it very interesting. But the main character's name is Carrie. You have her cousin Debbie, who, you know, they have a great relationship. There is ups and downs with their relationship, especially when it comes to Debbie's husband, and how he feels like she's in charge of the household. She should do this with the kids. She should do that with the kids. She shouldn't be hanging around with Carrie, all like that. It's like a roller coaster, but it's really, really good book. I suggest you pick it up. I highly recommend it. So if you haven't done so, I suggest you do. But I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. And of course, I voted for this book for horror on the Goodreads Choice Awards for this year. So definitely check this out. The next book that I had read, which I'm looking forward to the second book, and when it comes to the conclusion of this duology, and that is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I could not read this book before the year was over, and I was like, especially since the second book came out, really enjoyed this. Now, I don't live in the city. I don't live in New York. I don't live in the boroughs whatsoever. But I've been there. I've been to New York City. I've been to the boroughs many times. So it's like I felt like I lived there in a sense. Like N.K. Jemisin made me feel like I lived there, and she made me feel like I was at home, even though I don't live there. And New York has a deep dark history as well, and so you have in this book you are in the 5 boroughs, and of course you're dealing with many people from many different backgrounds. There's a lot of characters, and they're all avatars from the boroughs, so which it gives you a map as well. So like I said, and they all come from the 5 boroughs. So you have Staten Island, you have Brooklyn, you have Queens, you have Manhattan, and you have the Bronx. Staten Island is one of those people where we deal with a lot of racism, especially from the avatar's father. There's a lot of misogyny in this book. Racism, it gets deep into this book, but I really appreciated it, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was just so good. Now, I did take notes on this because I don't remember everyone's name, as far as the avatars go, but all of them are from the boroughs in this book, and I just found it really interesting and really good. So yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I definitely cannot wait to read the second book. And then last but not least, we have one more picture book, and that is Ways to Welcome. I believe that's the title. It's right here. I read this to my kids. I had my daughter read this to my sons, and then I went over it with my son, who's in pre-K, and then of course my youngest, I have him read with us as best as he can. He's only 2. I'm trying to get him acclimated and stuff, so he gets ahead. So we all read together. Every single one of us read together. So we really enjoyed this about Ways to Welcome, whether it's like a sibling in a crib, or just somebody you meet for the very first time, or a family member you meet for the very first time. Like, we just had a ball with this book. So it was an easy read, of course, but I definitely wanted them to just have fun and just have them read to each other. So of course we gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, but we just loved it. But that is it. Those are all the books that I've read so far in November. I think I did I've done pretty good. I want to keep on going with this pace. I know that there's another book that I'm going to be rereading. I do want to read Viola Davis's book. I know that's up on Goodreads, which I do want to vote for her, which I already did, but I'm going to be reading it this month anyways. So, because I do want Viola Davis to win on the Goodreads Choice Award for the memoir and autobiography section. So I'm going to be reading that this month. I made it like a goal of mine to read that. And I have another nonfiction book that I want to read. I still need to read Braiding Sweetgrass. I have a lot of things. I need to read Oathbringer and Dawn Shard by Brandon Sanderson. So I'm trying to get everything together. I want to also read Firekeeper's Daughter, because that's my book club pick for my members for this month. Also, I'm reading it for Skoda Readathon. So I feel like those are the remainders of the books I'm going to be reading. I also want to read The Witcher, The Last Wish, or whatever too, but I'm going to see if I can even get that in. If not, it's going to be next month in December. But that is it. I promise. That is it. That is all the books I've read so far in November. I really hope you enjoyed this video and my November mid-month wrap-up. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and that bell so that you'll be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, everyone, and please stay healthy and stay safe. And if I don't have another video up prior to Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. See ya.